Hello, hello. Welcome back. Let me bring you guys up on my Facebook page. I'm out of practice, you guys. I'm really out of practice. Hi, Mary. Okay, it's finally coming up. I guess Facebook is out of practice too. I guess Facebook. There we go. Well, just trying to get the comments to, there they go. Hi, Becky. Okay. I have a simple, easy project for today because I feel discombobulated. I feel out of practice. So yeah, I missed you guys too, but I have to say it was so nice just to have a couple of weeks off and not to have to think about it or, you know, what's my next project? What do I need to get prepped? You know, that kind of thing. It was really well needed, and I enjoyed every minute of it, but I am anxious to get back in the groove of things. It was kind of weird not doing lives. And I missed you guys. So I have an easy project to do today. And, you know, I'm not wearing my usual sweatshirt with my Deborah Bucher designs on it because I wanted to, I'm going to put the camera down in a minute. We're going to do a shirt and we're going to paint on the shirt a saying that has meaning to myself and my daughter, a funny saying. She'll laugh every time she puts the shirt on. And you could do it using a, oh, now I'm just losing my words, a heat transfer like this. Like I made this shirt years ago when I first got my Cricut machine. I did this shirt and I love this shirt and it's all glittery and shiny and I love the bee and the crown and the, you know, all the things about it. Hi, Carol. And it's washable. I mean, I did this at least 5 years ago and it's in perfect condition. Nothing has lifted on it. It's in great condition. But I also, not everybody has a Cricut machine. And so I want to show you an alternative to doing the same thing ultimately on a piece of clothing. And so now I'm going to put the camera down and show you. I've got it laid out here. Thanks, Becky. I love this shirt too. And it says, let me stand up. Now you can see the whole thing. And it says Queen Bee. Let's see, go that way. It looks like it's hanging a little wonky there. Maybe my boobs are wonky. I'm not really sure. I know I'm wonky. So, okay. So that's why I wore that shirt today, so that you could see the difference of what we're doing here. And so if you don't have a machine to do this, then you can do similar this way. So let me put the camera down. Hi, Micheline. I'm happy to see you, Micheline. I wasn't sure if you were gonna make it today or not. Okay, so I've measured this out, and when you Google it, it tells you for shirts of this size to go, it said anywhere from 3 to 4. And so just looking at it, I'm just going to put it at like 4 1/4. And then I've measured my stencil, and I'm going to put tape on here just so I don't have to measure it again. So I'm just taping, not to the stencil, but just the placement of the stencil, so I get it back in the exact same spot, because it took me like 5 minutes to make sure I had it measured correctly. I told you I needed an easy project for today. And the meaning of this, "let's crack on," is what that says. And the meaning of that, that's a British phrase. And I do watch a lot of British TV. I love British TV. I love their humor. And I love Britain. Britain is an awesome place. In fact, we're planning another trip to Britain in the next, not the next year, but upcoming year. And we're going to Scotland and Ireland. I've been to Ireland and loved it. And now we're going to plan a trip that's Ireland and Scotland. And I'm 44% Scottish and just a wee bit Irish. But it's such a fun country. And my granddaughter is going on this trip. My niece and my granddaughter are both going on this trip. I don't know how that got moved, because I thought I had it on there perfectly. Okay, so another important thing to do when you're doing shirts or t-shirts is I have a file folder underneath here in between the layers, and I've got a plastic bag covering that so that my paint doesn't leak through to the other side of the shirt. Hi, Molly. And I also washed the shirt first. So there's no sizing, there's nothing in it. It's a perfectly clean, fresh, clean shirt to work on. And so those are two important things. So I wanted to be sure and tell you. And so whether you're doing a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, any kind of clothing, you need to be sure that it's been washed. Okay, so now I'm going to lift that up, and now I know how to put it back in the exact spot I want it to be. And I'm going to turn this around so we aren't doing it upside down. It's so good to see you guys again. It was weird not to be going live, but it was really nice at the same time that it was weird. I hope you're not offended by that, but it was just really nice not to think and plan, just to relax. I had a wonderful Christmas and New Year's, and I hope you all did as well. Okay, So one of the fun things about doing projects like this is that you get to decide what your saying is going to be on here. So if there is a family saying, you know, if your family has a funny thing that you say to each other all the time, then you can put that on your shirt. That would make a fun gift to make a shirt for the whole fam-damily. That's what my mom used to say. We were the whole fam-damily. Okay, so it's going to look like this. And this is an adhesive stencil, which you've seen me do many times. And the first thing we're going to do is pull off the backing on here. Okay, let me tell you, let's crack on. I told you that's an English, like, slang phrase. Like, crack on, it's like you've got an important thing you need to get done. So let's crack on and get it done. That's what it means. And you hear it a lot from people who are English. And my daughter works with a lot of people in her company because her company is international. So there's people, she works closely with people from India, Ireland, London. I mean, they are like a worldwide company. And so it's a phrase that she's familiar with a lot and says a lot. Let's crack on. And it has a little bit of urgency to it when you say that, or let's crack on, let's get this done. So I told her, because I'm watching this TV show and they say it probably in a 30 or 40 minute show, they probably say it 10 or 12 times in this show. And I laugh out loud every time they do it because it just makes me think of my daughter. And so I told her a couple of weeks ago, I was watching this show and I said, I just made a stencil that says, let's crack on, and I'm going to put it on a sweatshirt. And she doesn't know, she'll know when she watches this video, but I'm giving her this sweatshirt. So, and I love this color green. I don't know if this is her color, honestly, because I bought this sweatshirt for myself, but honestly, I put on a few pounds, more than a few pounds, and the sweatshirt, I put it on after I washed it, and it still fits, but it's a little bit snug for a sweatshirt. So I'll just get another sweatshirt and do another let's crack on for myself, because I just love this. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I was so busy talking, I did the wrong thing, you guys. Okay, you don't take this side off first. Good grief. Okay, I'm going to put it back on. That would have been a disaster. That would have been the end of our life. Okay, you take off the side that looks like contact paper. And when you guys buy stencils, adhesive stencils from me, I always include instructions on how to use them. So with each purchase of a stencil, you do get instructions. Okay, now pieces aren't going to want to adhere down because I did that. Oh, Mary, you thought it was... That's hilarious. I do love the fine crackle. I need to do another project with the fine crackle. I haven't done it for a while. And it's not even a product I sell, but I just love that crackle so much. But we could say that about that crackle. Let's crack on and use that crackle. I'll do something with that shortly because I do love using that. Now this is giving me some trouble because I pulled off the other side and my surface here is soft. So I'm going to move it over here out of the camera and just get this backing off. I watch a lot of YouTube, and there's a show on there. I can't even tell you the name of it. It's kind of a funny name. And this guy has bought a old nunnery that's, I don't know how many 100 years old. It's very old. And it's huge. And he and his family are renovating that nunnery, and they're doing they're doing such a beautiful job. And it was a beautiful, I mean, it has beautiful chapels, beautiful property. I mean, it's just really gorgeous. And so it's very cool that somebody has the skills, because this guy is super skilled, and the money, because he has spent a fortune. And it's just an interesting show, and it usually is like 20 to 30 minutes an episode. And so it's in London. And so I hear the phrase, let's crack on, about 20 times in that show. Okay, so you pull off the side that has the grid on it first. And then, let's make sure I put it on here right now. And then you put that sticky side, that's like sticky contact paper, and you put that side down. And I want to get it lined up, and I want to get it on here straight. That looks pretty good. Okay. And you know, we did several during the holiday. We did several canvas bags using the adhesive stencils. And they take a little more effort when you're doing them on fabric than they do if you're doing it on a solid project, but they're definitely worth the effort. Okay, so I see a little bit of the black here, and so that makes it just easier for me to start pulling up what I had done before. And you just need to take your time and make sure like all the centers of your letters stay down. Like the middle of your E's and O's, and just don't be in any hurry. I don't know why I love British TV so much, but I do. And what's funny about that is the first trip that I took to Ireland was with my sister, and my sister's a smoker, and I'm not. So she would go, every hotel we were in and every town we were in, she would go stand outside, and they don't allow smoking in Ireland. It's like a no smoking state, but they have, sorry about that, I had a phone call come in. They have certain areas that people can smoke in, and it seems like it was like all the doorways, which is kind of a crazy place. For people to smoke in. And so she would be down there, and she just, and a lot of the people like in the pubs and stuff, they were all local people. And so she would hang out there in the doorways with all of these local people in the pubs. My sister's not a drinker either. She's a smoker, but she's not a drinker. And she would, you know, talk to the locals and find out what all the goings-ons were. I don't know why what that had to do with Let's Crack On, but that was in Ireland, and that was a really fun trip. And Ireland is really a beautiful country. The food is awful. The food was so bad. I mean, there were a few rare meals that it was good, but for the most part, it was really bad. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is just, because you're doing it on fabric, you want to be sure you get it laid down the best you can, as flat as you can. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use Dixie Belle Satin Top Coat. And we're going to put that on so that it doesn't leak through when we put the paint on. If anything is going to leak through, it's going to be the satin top coat. And if you have a nice flat table to be working on, that would be really good as well. Like, I can feel a lot of flex here. And if I had like a board underneath here instead of just a file folder, that would be good too. But I know this will work. I've done this 1,000 times. So I'm going to take a brush. It's just a flat brush, not a big one. And I'm using the satin top coat. And I'm going to paint on where we're going to actually paint our letters. And what this is going to do is, if it leaks through or underneath this stencil, we won't see it. It's going to act like a barrier when I go to put on the actual paint. But because it dries clear, we won't see it. Does that make sense? You know how paint will go underneath a stencil? And if I was putting this on a piece of furniture, it would adhere right straight to that furniture. But because this is going on fabric and the fabric is flexing, and I'm going to go back and put 2 coats on. I'm going to dry it in between and then go back and put another coat on, because on this particular fabric, I can see that the stencil just doesn't really want to adhere down real well. But we're going to make it do it. It would be terrible to have a flop demo for my first demo of the year. So did you guys all have a lovely Christmas and New Year's? I noticed a lot of creators just went right along like it was no holiday. They kind of made me feel ashamed of myself for not doing it, but it's like, you know what? I really did need a break. And I really enjoy Christmas and New Year's, and I just didn't want to be stressed getting ready for it. I had projects around the house I wanted to get done, and I don't think I got any of them done. Nancy, that is so funny that you loved the Irish food, but you love everything. I loved Ireland. I thought the food was hideous. I thought it was the worst food I ever had. And I've read that their food, that their culinary skills, they've been working on them and that they're better than they used to be. The food was just, for the most part, it was pretty bad. And I'm not that picky. I'm not like a picky eater. I did enjoy the pubs and the Guinness. The Guinness was amazing, and you can't get the same. You can buy Guinness here, but it's not the same because of I don't know, it's like a cream that they put in the Guinness, and that's where you get that foamy top to it. And it's not homogenized. And for it to be imported into the United States, it has to be homogenized. So when you buy Guinness here, that cream has been homogenized. And it does make a difference, you guys. And so I hadn't drank a Guinness, and I went in, gosh, I don't remember what year I went. It's been a long time. At least 10 or 12 years. And I'm not a big beer drinker, but I really, really, really enjoyed the Guinness when I was there. And we went to a lot of pubs, and the people that were on the tour with us were just such a fun group to be traveling with. They really were just the nicest people. And I've kept in touch with a few of them. One of them, we're still friends on Facebook, but she kind of blocks me because she doesn't like my politics. And I'm like, I never block people for that. It's like, you're entitled to your own opinion, and you can like and support whoever you want to. It's not going to change how I think or feel about you personally. But not a lot of people think like that. It shouldn't divide us. That's my feeling. That's what makes America great, is we can have more than one opinion, and the power changes hands periodically as the nation wants it to. So we don't have a king. But I didn't enjoy the food there at all. But I have read that they have had like a culinary revolution there. So, but that's okay, because when you travel to different countries, you want to have it be an authentic experience. You don't go there to eat Americanized food. You do go there to learn about the culture and about how they do things. The size of the cows. So the cows are bigger? Were they cows, or were they like the Oh, I'm going blank on what they're called. I have 2 decoupage tissues. The Scottish Highlander. And they got such pretty faces, and they're almost with manes. Is that what you're talking about? When I was in Ireland, we went to a lot of gardens, which I loved because I love to garden. And they were stunning gardens. We went to an abbey that was the prettiest place I've ever been. That was a real highlight for me. We saw so many castles that people stopped getting off of the bus when we would pull up in front of another castle. They would be like, I'm going to sit this one out. You've seen one castle, you've seen them all. And that is basically true. But I got off and looked at all of them. I love history. And so when you get a chance to travel like this and you get a chance to see such ancient history, I find it really, really fascinating. Okay, I'm going to give this a quick dry. Well, that's interesting, Nancy. I never was aware of that. Okay, so I'm going to give it another coat because I can see areas that this has not adhered down. And so I'm going to give it another coat. To hopefully get a better stick on there. The sweatshirt is such a lovely fabric. It's just really soft and cozy, like a soft blanket. And it wasn't an expensive one. I've had it for quite a few years because I was going to just do, like on my shirt, I was just going to do something off of my Cricut and heat press it on. But I just never did. And then I thought, oh, I'll do it for my daughter and do that funny saying. So I washed it and then I tried it on. And I was like, boy, this is the nicest fabric. You wouldn't think that being an inexpensive sweatshirt from Walmart. At least I didn't. But it was several years ago when I bought it. So I can't even go back there and buy some more of them. I did look when I was there a few days ago. But they did have some pretty ones that they don't have in the store on their online. So I did order a couple of sweatshirts off of their online. So I just need to crack on and get this done, you guys. I had that show on earlier today when I was combing my hair and putting my makeup on, and I wasn't really watching. I was just listening to it, and I heard him go, well, let's just crack on. And he put the word just in there, and I was like, oh no, that's not what my thing says. And I had written it down so I got the verbiage right. You know, it's not a lot to not get right, but you know, sometimes my brain just doesn't work. And nope, that's not what I wrote down. And when I wrote it down, I wrote down exactly what he said. Let's crack on. I'm trying to speed it up here. I know you guys have commented about, in a very nice way, what a slow painter I am. Very methodical. It's just that, you know what? It's just relaxing to me. It's just like, I'm just like plugging along here, and I'm enjoying having a conversation with you guys, seeing who's with me. Mickey, I'm just using Dixie Belle Satin Top Coat right now, just because the stencil doesn't adhere down on the fabric as well as it does if you put it on a solid surface. And so I'm just putting this on like an insurance policy. And frankly, it's not adhering on here as well on this fabric. It's this particular fabric, because I've done this on lots of fabric. This fabric is just so soft. But we're going to give it our best shot. And so by using the satin top coat and putting that on, if anything's going to leak underneath the design, then it's going to be the satin top coat that does that. And it dries transparent. And so I do it every time I use an adhesive stencil, and I always get really nice, clean, no leaks or anything. But I don't know if we're going to get that with this one, because it's lifting up in a lot of places. Thanks, Nancy. I do kind of do just do me. But I don't want to drive you guys all crazy either. So I'm just drying this. And then we're going to put our letters on with the real paint. Okay, and I'm going to use a little makeup brush, and I'm doing that so that I can pounce up and down and not rub my brush back and forth. Mary, I'm so glad I'm relaxing for you. I know some people comment on it, and they don't comment like in a negative way or anything, but people do notice that. And so I try to watch other people to see how, you know, other creators to see, you know, what speed they go. And, you know, they do paint faster than me. That is a fact. Okay, so I'm using, hi Sharon. The color I decided to use is drop cloth, which you guys see me use a lot. But this is the really fun thing about doing fabric and shirts and sweatshirts is you can make it any color you want. You can make it multiple colors. You can be just as creative on a fabric shirt as you can on any other art medium. So I've got paint on here, and then I'm dabbing it off on here because I don't want a whole bunch of paint on there. And now I'm just going to go straight up and down. I'm just going to dab it straight up and down. I don't want to push paint under, because right here where I'm dabbing, it's not adhered at all. And by using a pouncer like this, I can put a small amount of paint on, and I can always go back and put a second coat on. So the fact that it allows me to have a little more control over how much paint I'm putting on. So every time I put paint on my brush, I'm tapping it off on that little lid like I showed you. And I don't know if I put this particular stencil up on my website. If you're interested in doing something with this on it, just send me a message. I'll be sure I get it up on the website. But there's lots of stencils on there. I love having the ability, like I picked out this font. I tried out a lot of different fonts till I found one that made me smile. So you guys, did you all have a good Christmas and New Year? Did anybody do anything like special that they want to share with us? Did you guys all spend Christmas at home, or did you travel? I baked cookies, which I haven't done in a while. And I did a little bit of cooking, more than I normally do. I don't do a whole lot of cooking. I used to. Life just changes, you know. I don't have a family to cook for. It's just me and Scruffy most of the time. I went to my daughter's for Christmas Day, and she had, she asked me what I wanted, and I told her I thought a pot roast would sound really good. So that's what she did for Christmas dinner, and it was just delicious. So she sent all the leftovers home with me, and I ate them for a couple of days, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I've really missed just a good old pot roast. And so I've been thinking about how good that was, so I went to the store this week and I bought a pot roast, and I cooked it a couple of days ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm one of those people that will eat leftovers. I know a lot of people don't like leftovers, but I really like to have leftovers. And so I've been having that pot roast now for a couple of days. And there's a gal that I follow. I can't think of what her name is. I have followed her for years and years and years. And so I just thought, I'm going to go check out her like crock pot recipes. and start making one of those recipes a week, because I can just eat off of that for a whole week. When you don't have a family or other people to cook for. Becky, you're doing a pot roast? Yeah. Mary, you like leftovers too? Becky, you had a good Christmas and New Year's all at home? Good for you, Becky. I'm glad to hear you had a good one. A suggestion for this technique, you know, I just have a file folder underneath the shirt, and it gives a lot of bounce to this. If I had just slid that plastic bag over a piece of wood and put under there, that might have worked out better to give me a more solid back on here. Just a suggestion if you decide to do something like this yourself. Elaine, it is hard to cook for yourself. I'm sorry you lost your husband, but it is hard to cook for yourself. But fortunately for me, I am not a person who doesn't like leftovers. Like, a lot of people just don't like leftovers. And to me, I'm like, I always want leftovers. Oh, Elaine, good. You can do so many ideas. And if you can't find a stencil that you like, let me know, because I would love to design one for you. The fun thing about it is you can make them so unique and personal to your own lifestyle. If you have a funny saying that is meaningful to you or to family or friends, just like, you know, I don't know that this is a meaningful statement to anybody else, but my daughter just burst out laughing when I told her what I was doing. And if we wore it in London, I don't know if people in London would think it was particularly funny, because it's just like a normal thing that they say every day. You know, like we say, go get in the car. Well, I don't want a shirt that says go get in the car. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it really shows well on the camera what color the shirt is, but it's a really pretty army green. And it has, on the camera, at least on my iPad, it looks more like a, I don't know, like a gray green, and it's not a gray green at all. It's a really pretty, like, army green. But when you do something like this, you can pick out what color paint you want. You can pick out the color of your t-shirt, the size of your letters. If you want to make a big statement, you can make big letters. It's completely washable. You know, people are always saying, well, is that going to wash out? And it's like, I can guarantee you it is not going to wash out. I have clothes that I was painting on lives and stuff, and I've gotten paint on them and it never washes out, never ever. I've painted my jeans on purpose. In fact, I have an idea. I have a couple of jean jackets. I love jean jackets, and I have a couple of ideas of painting them. My sister and I painted jeans last year, but I would like to have a painted jean jacket, and I know what I want to do. It'll be a little bit complicated. But you don't have to just do one color like what I'm doing. You can do multiple colors. Me too, Becky. What's the point of making all that effort if there isn't going to be something left over? Life has really changed for me in the last couple of years. I don't have as much energy as I used to. It takes me longer to get household projects done. And I don't like the change at all. I have a birthday coming up in a couple of weeks, and I'm like, make it all stop. Just make it stop. I have the desire to do things. I just don't have the energy. So this trip that we're planning coming up, I hope I'm like still in good health and can take the trip. I'm coming up on the age that I lost both my parents. I lost both my parents within 3 months of each other. And I'm coming up on, that number is coming up close. And so it plays negative games with my brain. We're on the home stretch here. Okay, we're going to close it up. And this color was drop cloth, which I thought was just like a lovely color with this like army green. It's not white, it's not yellow. Okay, we're going to give it a dry. Well, Elaine, I agree with you. I know exactly what you're saying. And Becky, you're right too. What a blessing to have another birthday. It is a blessing for sure. Honest to goodness. I hope I have many more. I love my family. I love my grandchildren. I love coming live and, you know, having these kinds of conversations and chats with you guys and sharing and okay, let's see what we've got here. Cross your fingers, you guys. Then I need to get my little picker here. Did I get all the spots? I did. Let's crack on. So it came out pretty good. There's a little spot here where when I was pouncing there and right there, I went over the edge. And I might just ignore it because this is, well, I was going to say this is for me, but it's actually for my daughter. So I might try to find a green in my stash that I can just like blend in right there and there. But I'm happy with it. Let's crack on, everybody. So you may hear me saying this more often now that we've all shared together what it means. Thanks, Elaine. I got all these messages coming through. You know, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and phone calls still come through, messages come through. So, you guys, it was good to be back. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place with a brand new project. Thanks, Mary. So, you know, set your timer, set your reminder, and I hope to see you guys all tomorrow. Thanks for spending an hour with me today. I appreciate it always. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening. Bye.